I'm building my chicken compost system today. I'm doing it out of logs. I'm gonna put some into the ground and weave sticks in between them to make some walls. I'm in our woods because this is where I'm gonna get our logs from. There's a tornado that came through a few weeks ago now. Blew over a lot of trees, blew the tops off of a lot of trees, so we have a lot of those laying around. I'm gonna get into there and try to salvage some logs. Also, we're scheduled for a thinning through our forestry program, and they just came through today actually and marked a bunch of the trees that they're going to be taking out of here, and they marked a lot of small ones, a lot of small ash, especially because there's an emerald ash borer coming through and it's in our county, so it's going to be here eventually, so they're going to take out all the ash that makes sense to. And he told me that a tree about this size and width is going for like $1 or $2, so he said we can just take it if we want it and we can put it to better use than going to a pulp factory for $1. So my plan is to put some of these bigger poles into the ground and go through the tops and weave through those branches in between the poles to make some walls. Going. Going. Oh. All right, all the trees are down. We cut them into this little path here to make the cleanup as easy as possible. So we're just gonna cut them into 8-foot chunks, and I'm gonna be estimating 8 foot because I don't have a tape and I don't wanna run back in and get one, but shouldn't really matter as long as they're all uniform. I'm in my chicken run where I'm going to be building the compost system. I have all my logs piled up that we cut down yesterday, and I'm going to start getting them in place and getting them into the ground. I have this temporary system behind me here, and the reason I'm building a more permanent one is because my friend who I get my chickens from, she works at the local grocery store in town, and she's getting me all of their food scraps so that right when the produce expires, instead of throwing it away, she's picking it up and bringing it to me. So I want to be ready so I can utilize everything she brings me, and so none of it goes to waste. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put these logs into the ground and space them about 2 feet apart, and I want to do 4 4x4 bins. Give me mine, bro.
Just find them, bro. Net, bro.
Where's the fucking pond? I'm putting the fatter side on the front on this one because I've started the first 3 or 4 sticks the other way around because they were easier to lop that way. But now the back side here is a little taller than the front, so I gotta switch it around.
Hey, what do you think, Geese? Yeah? That's fine.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay, I got the compost system done. Let me show you how it works. So my plan is to use this middle compartment here, which has just 2 pieces of fencing. This is gonna be the first place on our compost journey here. So I'm gonna dump everything in here And after about a month or however long it takes to fill this up, I'm gonna move it into this bin that I just built. I'm gonna be building more bins just like this, and once this one's filled up, I'm gonna move it into that one, and so on and so on. Eventually the last bin will be filled up, and then I'll move that compost into its final location and let it sit or spread it on my fruit trees and fruit bushes right away. I have a connection to our local grocery store who's been getting me all of their expired produce, and she said she's gonna continue that for the foreseeable future, so I'm really glad I got this thing built and I'm able to accommodate all of that food that I'm gonna be getting. It's gonna be a lot of food, but I'm ready for it. It's really cool because I'm able to give my chickens some good feed at a really low cost, and I'm able to prevent a lot of waste. But yeah, I'm gonna be piling up the food that I get from her, our food scraps, scraps from the garden, a bunch of grass clippings, and leaves. I really want to hit leaves hard. I live in the woods here, there's leaves all over, and it's a free resource, and I'm really gonna try to be taking advantage of it. So every time I dump produce in here, I'm gonna try to put a thing of leaves on top of it and keep turning it constantly. This compost system is a huge step towards us being self-sustaining. If you're new here, I live in northern Wisconsin. I'm trying to grow all of my own food, and I had to buy a lot of compost this year. So I'm really glad that going forward, I'll be able to have my own, and it seems like I'm gonna have a huge supply of it. That's definitely gonna be needed because I have a garden that's only gonna get bigger, a bunch of fruit trees, fruit bushes. I have a blueberry patch of over 70 blueberries, and it's only getting bigger. So I'm gonna need a lot of compost and a lot more going forward. So I'm really glad I have the system in place, and I'll be able to take care of that myself. On the other side of our chicken area here, we have this cattle panel greenhouse. It's not completed yet. This video will be out shortly. The plan with this greenhouse is I'm gonna have some beds in it, but it's gonna be a chicken composting area for when it starts getting cooler and during winter. I'm gonna be putting the produce we get from our local grocery store in here during the winter, and I'm gonna put a lot of leaves in here during the fall. I wanna give our chickens a place to go when it's cold and when there's snow on the ground, to forage for their food, stay warm, and still make some compost. I'm really glad with how this turned out. I built this using logs and branches from our land, and I talked to our forester again today, and he said I can take any tree that's about this size that I want because it's not even worth the logger's time to cut it down and process it. So I'm gonna be out here grabbing as many trees as I can about this size and putting them to use.